This episode has been sponsored by Ryan's Farmers Market. Watching SceneTV, and I'm Maya McNulty, your host, Schenectady Cable Entertainment News and Events. And next on our show, I'd like to welcome Connie Braemer. Connie is the author of How Connie Got Her Rack Back. She's a cancer survivor, a mom, and an author. Welcome, Connie.
Thank you very much, Maya. I appreciate it having me here today.
Great. You look beautiful. Tell me, what is Connie's story? You have a hilarious story, first of all, so let's get it out there.
Thank you. Well, it didn't start out hilarious. In
very serious.
2008, I was diagnosed with breast cancer just after my 39th birthday. And my kids were small. They were 7 and 8 at the time. And I decided to start a blog to talk about my cancer because I wasn't seeking out support from support services, and it was my way of communicating with my friends and family and letting them know how I was doing. So I would write in the blog, and they would write me back messages of, well wishes and healing. And I wrote all my comical stories, and it seemed like every single day there was something that I could laugh about. Every day I got up and my feet hit the floor, and I thought, instead of thinking I have cancer, I have to think of, how can I make myself laugh today and others around me? Mm-hmm. So every day I took something that happened, whether it's an oncology visit or my wig flying off. There's lots of stories about that in the book. Or embarrassing my kids by wearing a crazy hat that I talk about in there. I just decided I was going to make fun of my cancer all the way through it.
Yeah. Well, definitely there is, laughter and healing. And I think that you definitely hit that with your book. So let's talk about your book a little bit. And you were journaling, and then you decided that how I could really make this book into something that I could share with other cancer survivors, right?
Yes. Well, what happened was my friends encouraged me to get a Caring Bridge website to start one of those so that I could communicate without people calling me constantly and seeing how I was doing. It was a way for me to put my words out there, let them know how I was doing, and then they could write me back. So as I was journaling and I got better, my friends said, I really miss your writing. We're glad you're well, but we really miss your writing. We think you should put it into a book. So a couple of my friends came up to me and said, I think you should put this into a book. I think it would help a lot of people. So the greatest gift that I've gotten from this book, and I really wrote this book to kind of put an end to my cancer, to put it in a box, put a ribbon around it, and put it away for a while. Because when you're in it, and you're getting through the everyday, and when you're through your journey, that's when you have time to reflect on where you've been and realize how scary things were at the time and how much you endured. But writing that was very cathartic, and it was great to find things to laugh about. And the greatest gift that I've received is people telling me that it's helped them through their journey, that they knew what to expect with chemotherapy, or they had lots of laughs at the different things, my antics throughout the book. I write about a lot of different things, from getting my MRI and having my breasts in the crazy, box cut out holes that you have to go through, to having a port put in my chest for chemotherapy. And I made a joke about how my oncologist probably has a tracking device in it to find them in Macy's or someplace. And just my wig stories. I had a very hard time losing my hair, and I wrote a lot about that. And I have a lot of very funny wig stories.
Yeah. We talk about self-perception and how we see ourselves, but honestly, if I commend you for finding healing in your humor, to really rise above and to educate others that it's okay, that these things are going to happen in life, but it's how we take on those challenges and make a better situation from it. So what I want to talk to you about is, so here you are, kind of describe your first day of when you found out that you had a how do you say that word?
Malignancy.
Yeah.
I kind of thought, am I being punked? Because it just didn't seem like it could be happening at 39. And I'm finding out that it's happening to many women in our age bracket, that they have things that go undetected. And I'm all about getting a mammogram, and I was very fortunate that I was going for a preventative appointment and found this. I actually had a pain in my chest, which preempted me to go to the doctor for my annual, and I found it that way through an ultrasound. But the day I found out, I just was thinking, wow, this can't even be possible. But as I got home and had to realize I had to make decisions, and I had a wonderful nurse navigator at Wilton Medical Arts Center. Her name is Diane Young, and she helped me make all the choices I need to make as far as an oncologist and a surgeon, and she helped me make those tough decisions and answer my questions. Because when you're diagnosed, you don't know what the scoop is. You know, you find out you have a diagnosis, you have to go to the next step, and what are the next steps?
Right.
So for me, she was very vital in my journey. I write about her in my book. She was very important to me. And for me, writing this book, I hope that people understand what the journey is. I've had several husbands reach out to me and say, you know, you helped me to understand what my wife was going through. It's important that people know what the journey is like for the person going through it. And as much as you can have family and friends and as much support as possible, it is a lonely journey because you're going through it all by yourself. You know, at night when your eyes shut, you're thinking about it, and it's a difficult journey. But when I was writing my book, I thought, how can I spin this in my journals, not really the book, the journals, to make it funny for people and make myself come out. So it was really me. When my friends were reading my journal entries, they're like, "Wow, that's so you. That you would be funny about it and laugh about it." And that was my way of coping.
Well, praises to you though for having such a good humor. And let's say, you know, some of your self-discoveries, what is it that you discovered about yourself more, that you're perhaps stronger than you ever thought, or why is God doing this to me? What did you find out about yourself?
I found out that I definitely am stronger than I thought I was. And I really learned from my children especially the value of giving back and understanding people and not making judgments as to where people are. Because you might, you know, people didn't know I had cancer, some people didn't know. And I could be sitting next to someone and I've had chemotherapy, they don't know what I went through in that day. And I think my kids have learned to look at other people and say, you know, they might be having a tough day and not really know what's going on. So that was a big life lesson for my family, for my children. For me, definitely, I'm stronger than I thought I was. And I learned that my humor really carried me. It really carried me. It was a lot of dark days, and I think that just laughing about things guided me through it.
If someone was to go and have their annual checkup and found this type of news, what would you suggest to them?
To not panic. That, you know, I learned, actually another thing I learned I didn't tell you is I learned that I have to take each day as it comes. And I'm a planner, and it was very difficult for me having a breast cancer diagnosis and not knowing what tomorrow would bring or next week. You know, I know what's on my lunch date for next week. You know, I didn't know where I was going to be next week. And that it's learning it to live each day as it comes. So my advice to someone who's just newly diagnosed is don't panic. You have to make decisions, but make them one at a time. And look at each day as it comes and take it from there.
Great. So kind of also probably putting together a list and say, you know, if I want to do something, get it done, like sort of a bucket list, some of the things that you really are passionate about doing it. So Connie, tell me about a turning moment in your journey.
I think the most poignant moment I had in my journey was the night my daughter shaved my head for me. We knew that I was going to lose all my hair, and I had to decide if I was going to shave my head. And I was going to go get it done at a hairdresser's, and my daughter said, you know, why don't I do it for you? And she was 8 years old. And I went in my closet and sat on a stool for a moment because I have the clippers were in my closet for my son. I cut his hair. So I sat there and I just had tears streaming down my face. And she sat there and was really quiet, and she said, you know, Mom, it's going to be okay. So she shaved my head for me, and my kids laughed because I'm a neat freak, and my hair was flying off, and she's holding the garbage here so it wouldn't get all over. It was kind of funny. But she shaved my head, and at the end, we were both looking in the mirror, sitting together, and she said, you know, Mom, that was a really tough moment.
Yeah.
And I cried thinking about it because it was...
That's deep.
It was deep for an 8-year-old. It really was deep. So she said, Mom, I'm going to go downstairs and make you a great dessert.
Aw.
So she went downstairs and made me some sherbet with cherries on it and brought it upstairs.
Well, that's your humor right there into her injected.
Yeah.
So really taking a situation that was really tough and, you know, just an 8-year-old saying, Mom, we're going to fight this thing, and let's start with dessert.
Absolutely. So I think the thing that drives me with my events, especially this year with having it be about the community, is thinking about my daughter Alyssa when she shaved my head and how these kids need support.
Tell us about some of the unwavering support that you received from your friends in the community and family.
Well, my family flew up from Florida to spend time with me while I was going through my surgeries, and my friends were I don't have any family living here, so if it were not for my friends, I don't know how I would have gotten through this journey.
Yeah.
My friends picked my kids up from school. They took them to after-school programs. They helped me with homework stuff. They took me to doctor's appointments, my many surgeries, my chemotherapies. And, just having them there, they don't have to say anything. It's just having people there, knowing that they're there for you. That's the most important thing.
And how many years have you been a cancer survivor?
5.5 years.
So 5.5 years. And in this time, you're giving back to the community. You're giving back to the American Cancer Society, in part with the proceeds of the book as well. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I started the Get Your Rack Back event, and it started as a book launch party. My book came out in March of 2012. And in May, I said, you know what, I want to have a party to, support and praise my friends for having done everything they did for me. It was really for my family and friends. Big party. And I thought, you know what, why don't I turn it into a fundraiser? So I got some silent auction items, and we had a great fundraiser. We raised $4,600 for the American Cancer Society, Making Strides Against Breast Cancer, the first year. And then last year I did it again, and it got bigger, and we raised $10,400.
Wow.
And this year I've decided to disperse the funds in a different way. It's really more about the community this year. And how can we help all cancer patients and their families? There are so many services that people need, from house cleaning to home cooked meals and getting to appointments. Like I was saying, my friends, I was very fortunate. Some people don't have friends that live close by.
And I think that some people go into a shell. They're not really wanting to talk about this because they could choose to say, poor me, or you could say, you know what, I have this life to live and I'm going to live it. So reaching out to your friends and sharing what you're going through is probably a better way to communicate so that you can get comfortable with the reality of cancer. Tell us a little bit about the event, where it's going to be, the date, the time, the food, the cost, all that kind of stuff.
Well, it's June 7th at the Hilton Garden Inn in Troy, and the proceeds are going to FloydWarriors.com and also to ACS Hope Club, to American Cancer Society's Hope Club.
Okay.
Both organizations provide, all services for cancer patients and their families in the local area, all helping people in the capital region. It will be held from 6:30 to midnight at the Hilton Garden Inn, like I was saying. And I've got a New York City DJ coming up to DJ and MC it. I've got 2 local musicians, a caricature artist, a tarot card reader. The food is going to be fabulous. It's $65 a cost per person, and there'll be wonderful silent auction items and raffles.
If somebody wanted to get a hold of you or tickets, how do we do that?
You can go to my website, which is getyourrackback.com, or they can email me at getyourrackback@yahoo.com.
Okay.
And we'd love to have people join us. It's a wonderful event for a wonderful cause.
And you're looking for auction items still, correct?
I am, yes.
Yep. You're looking for support, donations, and community involvement with that as well. So tell us about what type of raffle items are you looking for?
I am looking for anything that will bring, income for these 2 organizations. Tickets to things and, shows and any type of raffle ticket.
Okay, great. Tell me one of your special stories that you wrote in this book that you'd like to share.
Okay. When I was done with my treatment, I had my wig on, and my brother came up from Charlotte, North Carolina, and he said, we're going out. So we went out in Saratoga, and we were walking on a side street with his wife and her brother and sister, and my wig came off as I went under a tree branch, and it went right off my head, hung in the tree, and fell down. And I laughed and laughed and laughed, and everyone around me was horrified. But, you have to find the humor in things, and I still laugh about it today.
Yeah.
So we had there's a lot of funny stories in there about my wig.
That's a great story. What are some of the other things that you'd like to share with us? Because I love having you here and love listening to your story. But do you have any suggestions or anything that you want to share to somebody that's out there that's going through this horrible disease right now, or where they can find support? What do you got?
Well, you can certainly find support from FloydWarriors.com and from the American Cancer Society's Hope Club, but don't be afraid to reach out to your friends and family and just talk to them and let them know what you're feeling. I think it's important to be vocal. My mother had breast cancer, and she passed away 18 years ago, and she was very private about her journey, and she didn't talk about it, and I found myself healing in talking about it. And I think awareness is very important, and I think it's really important that people know what you're going through. You know, and your close family and friends. I think it's important that you tell them what you're thinking and feeling.
Great. I think that's important as well, too. So tell us one more time, how can we get in touch with you for Get Your Rack Back, the event that you're having at the Hilton Garden Inn in Troy?
Okay, you can go to getyourrackback.com and purchase tickets right through there, or you can contact me directly at getyourrackback@yahoo.com.
Great. Thank you so much, Connie Braemer,
Thank
for
you.
being on SceneTV. It was such a
Thank
pleasure
you
to
very
have you
much.
here and share your
Thank
story.
you.
And I look forward to reading how Connie got her rack back, the entire book. I'm sorry I only got to a few pages, but I'm looking forward to reading it.
Thank
And
you.
thank you so much. And I love that you signed it for me. That's awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.
So again, thank you so much for being on SceneTV.
Thanks.
Welcome back. You're watching SceneTV, and I'm Maya McNulty, your host. Schenectady Cable Entertainment News and Events. And today I am so delighted to have Dashawn Harris, the founder of Push Clothing Wear, on our show here at SceneTV. Welcome, Dashawn.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you here. I
you
am
for
so
having me.
thrilled for you and your brand and your mission. So let's get started. So Dashawn, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, basically, I'm from Schenectady, New York. I grew up here. I started Push about 4 years ago, and I basically have come back to the community to inspire the youth and to get everyone involved. I would like, a group effort, more so just a personal effort. And, it's basically art, music, communication, business, everything that you look into when it comes to just like a company in general, all tied into one.
I love what you've made Push stand for. So
Okay.
tell us what it stands for.
It stands for Push Until Success Happens, and it's basically allowing everyone to know that no matter what happens, you have to continue to move forward and never allow anything to, stop you.
Right. So no matter what background, what race, what age, what financial situation you've
Exactly.
come from, you can push until success happens. I love it. So tell us a little bit about your inspiration and where this vision came from.
Well, originally, I'm an artist and an athlete, so it's a little difficult sometimes when you want to get dressed. You want to still look cool, but you don't want to look like you're trying too hard. So I'm like, okay, why don't I start making my own clothing? And I was in the fashion industry for a little while, and I got to see the other side of, I guess, the retail business. So now that I'm in designing aspect, I can basically say, here's a pair of sweatpants. How can I make them look cooler? How can I get people to want to buy what I'm wearing? So we basically just came up with some ideas and trial and error, and here we are.
Great. How long have you been on this journey?
25 years. But basically, yeah,
True.
this journey for about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where do you see it going?
I see it hitting the world. Global, worldwide. Anyone that can wear sweatpants, a t-shirt, a hoodie, a hat, pushes for them. Now, depending on the price point, some may feel like it's okay, some may not feel like it's okay, but I definitely feel it can be in any market,
Sure.
any genre.
Where is Push located?
We are here in Schenectady right now, and we have hubs in Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and New York City.
Okay, so
But
you're
we're mostly in Schenectady.
yeah, so you're definitely making it global. So say
Yes.
it again. You're in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, Los
You're in
Angeles,
Los Angeles,
New
you're
York
in
City,
New York City.
and Schenectady.
And Schenectady. So fashion is coming back to Albany, the capital region,
Yeah.
Schenectady. So excited. We just recently had Electric City Couture on the show here at CTV. And again, marking up the charts for fashion. We've had Abby Styles on here. We've had a couple different women that are doing closet therapy, where they come in and they take care of your wardrobe and give you ideas of how to wear your clothes
Spruce it up a
again.
little
Yeah,
bit,
yeah, making something old new again.
Okay.
So this is so exciting, and now you're really gearing towards the youth
Yes.
of fashion. So tell us about how that's inspiring, and what is your mission in wanting to change that and inspiring the youth?
Well, when the future is the leader, so we basically want to get them involved in our company so that when we're established here, it's something that can be for generations to come, not necessarily the now. We have, let's say you have a 14-year-old and they want to enter fashion design. We can give them an internship, and then eventually they can work for us, as opposed to trying to seek other representation or different clientele, you know.
Do you have a website that we can get in touch with you?
We do. We're actually fixing it right now. It's welovepush.com, but it's
Okay.
under construction, but that's definitely our website.
So it's welovepush.com
Yes.
that people can get more information from, and you can order your push line.
You can
on,
order the clothing, you can contact us directly, and you know, if you have any suggestions or anything, we have a suggestion box that you can send us over some info.
It's very cool. And I also love your line, the Native Fun.
Oh no, Native Son.
Native Son.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
Native
yes.
Son.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Okay, well, for a little history fact, Schenectady is a Native American city, and basically I wanted to do something that was more along the heritage. So eventually we're going to open a clothing store, and it's a clothing line, and it's just basically more so about, like you said, the tribal motif to get our roots back into the forefront of
That's
fashion.
definitely trending.
Yeah.
The tribal motif, I like it. Well, a few weeks ago, we were at Cafe Nola, who we also had on the show, part of the
Kevin,
lower.
yeah.
Kevin Brown and his lovely wife, Robin. And they were on the show. We're talking about an event coming up in Lower Union Street in June.
Yes, the block party.
The block party, yeah. And so you should probably become a vendor. They
Yeah, we're
get the
definitely
name
looking to get
of
in there.
Push Out and Native Son Out. And I just think there's fun in that sun, so it's very cool. But I'm really delighted to have met you at Cafe
same
Nola.
here.
And you've actually are voicing out and getting your message of Push Out, and some of the restaurants have been participating with that.
Yes,
How do you feel
yes.
about that?
I'm inspired and I'm honored because it's basically a situation, like I said before, we haven't had too many supporters. So to see the community stepping up and saying, like, we'll allow you to throw a party or an event here, and hi, this is so-and-so, nice to meet you. You know, it's love, and we appreciate it. We really do.
Yeah, we're happy to be a part of that here on
Thank
SceneTV.
you.
Yes, absolutely. So let's get back and jump a little backwards here. We talked about Push. Where does your inspiration come from for some of this clothing and stuff? So you have the kids, and there's art, and so it's art fashion or fashion art. I mean, a women's wear daily could probably.
I mean, it's a mixture of everything. Like, you have to be inspired by everything. You go outside, you see a red pole, I want to make something red. You know, you just have to grab from everywhere. But I would say, growing up, this is the city of four seasons. So if, like, for example, when I lived in Los Angeles, I didn't really need too many big jackets. Or when I lived in Las Vegas, I didn't really need too many big jackets. But being from the Northeast, we have to dress for four seasons. So I would say Schenectady has definitely inspired me a lot. And then my travels to London and Italy and different parts of America as well.
So great. What has been the most influential person that's led you as a role model for your passion and love to fashion?
Okay.
Or who has been, I should say.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't want to say one particular person, but what I will say is I had the opportunity of working with Dolce & Gabbana when I was in Italy for 2 months. I was inspired by just their business mindset, and how you can take something from just a cut and sew to an enormous entity, and there's buildings upon buildings in there, and like major malls and shopping centers. So I'll definitely give, a hand clap to Dolce & Gabbana.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great. That's great. I want to talk about some of your arts for parks that
Okay.
you're going to be using. Is it going to be the Native Sun that you're going to use for that, or is it Push, or is it a combination?
Well, Push is the umbrella corporation. So basically everything will be under Push. We'll have Arts for Parks, we'll have Native Sun, and then we have a couple other projects that we're working on. But Arts for Parks is basically getting the community involved. We're going to plant trees. It's all about going green, getting the community involved, cleaning up the community, cleaning up the city, getting everyone excited about their future, and the uplifting of Schenectady, because we have the Metroplex downtown, and they're, getting everything together. But we definitely want to show them that the natives of Schenectady would definitely like to cooperate and help as well.
Yeah, I think your shop would be brilliant downtown.
Oh,
It's really
sweet,
needed.
sweet.
Instead of, we love the restaurants, absolutely, but we need some diversity, and I think you've definitely got that. So great. So you're going to partner. You want to partner with some nonprofit organizations. Tell us about that. What do you see happening there?
Well, since we're working with the youth, we would definitely like to partner with the Boys and Girls Club, Girls Incorporated, the Big Brother Big Sister program, any non-for-profits that are along that line where we can get kids from after school, or maybe go to school and during one of their periods we plant some trees or something like that. But we're definitely looking to work with those non-for-profits.
Excellent, excellent. And how about the playgrounds and at schools and stuff? Are you looking to revitalize a few of those? Because there are some schools, I mean, it's a lot of work. I've actually done some of that with a school in Niskayuna where with PTO, have gotten involved in lots of fundraising and stuff. So, so you're going to be partnering with some schools and organizations or churches to build playgrounds as well?
As of now, because it's a startup situation, we're definitely, we're not going to turn down anyone that's willing to help us. So whoever's out there, whoever wants to help, we're looking for that.
Oh, great.
And like you said, we would love to fix up the school playgrounds and actually build and donate some that are needed. There are certain communities in certain areas, like growing up here, my mom, she really didn't allow us to go outside of a certain radius. So if we lived on this block, it's like, okay, you can go to that street, and that street. So if there's no park there, you're just like playing football on the street, or playing hide and go seek in someone's backyard. So if you give them a park, then they can have a place to play and keep the city safe.
I definitely remember if the street lights are on, it's time for dinner, and if you didn't make for dinner, you're in trouble. So let's talk about some scholarships. You're also interested in giving back with scholarships. So your organization with Push is so much bigger than just, I'm a clothing line and I want to help the youth. And you're really inspiring, and you really have a big heart and want to give back. So I can really see that in you. Tell us about your scholarship. How do you plan on raising money for your scholarship to donate that, and who and where will you donate it?
Well, 10% of the proceeds from our clothing line, that's the differentiation between our non-for-profit and for-profit. Push, the clothing line, will be for profit. The non-for-profit aspect will be the community uplifting and the programs as far as Arts for Parks and Native Son. So we would donate 10% of our clothing in the store to the Boys and Girls Club, or to one of our, like you said, scholarships for students who need it. Because when I was graduating high school, money was there, but it wasn't so much like, here's $20,000, go to any school you want. So the best art students and the best community leaders, they would get those donations, those scholarships.
Yeah, and so are they submitting that through a portfolio or through an essay? Or
as of now, we're basically looking to do probably a portfolio, an essay, and being a part of our projects. If you're a part of Art for Parks.
So volunteering in your projects as well.
Exactly.
So you have to actually have some skin in the game, they say, right? You got to have some skin in the game. So I think it's exciting, and I think that it's a way of empowering kids and empowering the community to let them know that actually one person taking on the opportunity to show and make a difference is definitely going to move forward. So pushing for success. I love it. Push until success happens. Dashawn Harris, thank you so much for being our show.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Good luck.